Ukraine has been waiting for these American F-16s to arrive for months. They're part of a massive international aid package worth billions of dollars, aimed at pushing back Russian military advances. But here's the kicker: a lot of that cash isn't going to Ukraine at all. Instead, it's being used to build weapons thousands of kilometers away. And a major beneficiary is the arms industry in the good old US of A. In fact, most of the aid stumped up by the US to support Ukraine is being spent at home. It didn't even leave the country. Let's take a look at the big numbers. More than $330 billion has been committed in aid, mostly by Western countries, since the beginning of 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. Of that, almost $160 billion has been earmarked for military spending. The US has contributed nearly $70 billion. So what's that mean? Well, for example, when Ukraine invaded Russia in August and blew up this bridge, Moscow said the rocket used was probably a US-made HIMARS. Of course, the US was supplying Ukraine with weapons and equipment well before Russia's invasion. Here's a very, very heavily summarized list of what's been sent over since 2020. 10,000 Javelin anti-armor systems, nearly 200 howitzers, Bradley fighting vehicles, Abrams tanks, Humvees, a Patriot air defense battery, Vampire anti-drone systems, and 9 different sorts of drones. As well as that, high-speed anti-radiation missiles, Mi-17 helicopters, add radar systems, more weapons, and of course the rounds of ammunition and the many rockets they fire. Oh, and boats, armored personnel carriers, helmets, medical kits. The list goes on and on. The point is, all of this kit needs to be made or replaced if it's coming from old stock. So US aid to Ukraine is not just an act of charity. Basically, it's supporting US businesses like General Dynamics Land Systems, which makes the Abrams tank. The American Enterprise Institute has identified 117 production lines located in 71 cities in 31 states where American workers are producing weapons for Ukraine. The US military-industrial complex even benefits when other countries send weapons to Ukraine. Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands are committed to sending more F-16s. As a result, they'll need to backfill their air forces, in all likelihood with more US-made warplanes. Spare parts and weapon systems are also made in the US. In August, US President Joe Biden said he was open to sending JASSM cruise missiles. They're made by Lockheed Martin in Troy, Alabama. For Ukraine's President Volodymr Zelenskyy, the jets are a game changer, and he wants more.
Поки що та кількість, яка є в Україні, поки що та кількість пілотів, які вже навчені, цього ще недостатньо. Позитив є в тому, що ми очікуємо додаткових F-16. Позитив є в тому, що наші хлопці зараз, багато хлопців зараз навчаються.
Let's go back to that map of American arms suppliers. It doesn't even include the companies that make vital bits like plastics and computer chips. Nor does it list the producers of smaller items for Ukraine, such as cold weather gear, night vision goggles, medical supplies, spare parts, and millions of rounds of small arms ammunition. Ukraine is also being used as a test ground for new weapons.
Ukraine has put out an offer to US defense manufacturers to bring their latest gear to Ukraine to try it out in real combat situations.
That all means cash and jobs across the US. In June, the G7 group of rich democracies agreed to use proceeds from frozen Russian assets to give Ukraine $50 billion in loans. Russian money to build and maintain Ukraine's defense and deterrence capability. That means buying weapons, including American weapons. A win for Ukraine perhaps, but also a win for the US arms industry.